Greetings, flesh creatures. It is I, Megatron. On behalf of TFYLP, I want to congratulate you for listening to the most refined collective podcast on this miserable little planet Earth. Yes. Here you'll find knowledgeable fans discussing every aspect of Transformers and beyond. Now, enjoy the show while I continue my path to complete conquest of all of you miserable biological entities. Predacons, terrorize!
Hi, welcome to TFYLP episode 484. We're live tonight. It is Monday, June 6th. I'm Lucas. I am joined tonight by Phil.
Hello.
And Peter.
Forever Destron.
And Rob.
Hi.
Peter, you look like you have like an odd look on your face here. What's
I'm just excited to talk about whatever we're going to be talking about.
There you go. It's exciting to have you, Peter.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be on.
So yeah, we're going to talk about some Masterpiece tonight. So we said, you know what? Let's go ahead and have Rob dust the cobwebs off of Rob over here and have him back on the show.
It's been a minute.
So yeah,
you were on a few weeks ago.
Yeah, still
I can't
been
remember
a
the
minute.
topic, but you were there.
I can't remember either. We yacked for a while about something. I don't know.
Bots.
yeah. I don't know. I have a hard time judging time these days. I feel like it's just unless I'm actually keeping track and writing down who's on when.
Time is a ruler to measure the day. It doesn't go backwards only one way. And watch it go around like a merry-go-round, going so fast like a merry-go-round.
I wish I could continue the song, but I
Let's go on a journey through time. Yeah.
I can't say I know
There's like-
that one.
I don't know, like probably 3 other people in the world that get that reference.
There you go.
I was just gonna say time is a bad
Oh, they don't know what we're talking about. It's wonderful.
No, sorry.
Sorry.
I'm sure
Anyways.
there's somebody else in the audience there that gets your guys' reference. So there you go. So
Watch, someone's gonna like write in like they got the lyrics wrong.
No, they're not. They were
well,
correct.
actually, there's gonna somehow someone's gonna correct us on something.
He was off key.
Well, that happens.
Yeah.
So Ron in the chat says he's shocked that we're going to devote an entire show to a Takara MP especially when Fans Bros Phoenix is clearly superior. Now, I want to say we have devoted shows to much less than this.
Yeah.
Right?
What's the
Ron,
sub?
if you want us to not devote shows to these kinds of things, throw out some ideas, bro. Because we're doing this week in, week out, and there ain't a whole heck of a lot of new stuff to talk about these days when there's no Transformers fiction coming out anymore.
We
Do you
can
want
talk,
to think that affects anything?
Well,
There could
talk-
be fiction. There hasn't been good fiction in a decade, so I hadn't cared anyways.
No. Peter just covered his face, which gave me the idea. We should do a whole show about the Optimus Primal mask that transforms.
yes.
all right, change of plans, everyone. Change of
Yes.
plans.
A different
Cut it
masterpiece.
out. All right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
episode 484, whatever that Beast Wars mask thing was. That's the show.
The rise of the best mask.
So Zaldrin has informed us that apparently they throw out a zillion ideas. It's all in the Discord. So all of us can just go to the Discord.
I'm on the Discord. It's like one of like 10 Discords I'm on, and I tend to not read any of them.
I never learned to read, so in your face, fans.
Yeah.
Wait.
I don't know.
This is America. You can't make me read. Commies.
Yeah.
Do you think a guy wearing a Pantera shirt has that high level of an education? Obviously not.
Think a guy not wearing pants knows how to read? or not wearing pants, rather. I can't even tell.
Yeah.
Stupid.
You know, the Lego movie character was based off of Rob. Honey, where are my pants?
Speaking of Lego, that's what I got for my birthday was the Lego Optimus Prime. I haven't started on it yet. Oh, I mean, it came out, a couple days after my birthday, but yeah, I got that upstairs, so I'm looking forward to that.
That's exciting. I've been watching everyone build theirs, and it's just like, I want to play.
I want to.
Have you seen that someone already took all the parts and formed an alligator prime with it?
Yep.
Yes.
And someone took the instructions and made a Nemesis. There's a mod to the head you can do to make it look a little bit better.
I'm looking forward to the head mod. I want to figure that out.
I believe there's a knee mod as well to get articulated knees. And I saw someone I believe made an Ultra Magnus as well.
Ultra Magnus is not a white prime. I haven't seen what it is, but I already hate it. So just throwing that out there. It doesn't have the trailer and everything. It's not Ultra Magnus. So get off my lawn.
Finally getting that cross-brand official Lego Transformers thing has opened up a whole new world of like, oh, Creo, but good. Yay! Built to rule, but not built to
Not
rule.
built to suck?
I can't go down a Lego hole with it. Like, you could get me to buy some choice pieces, like the Optimus Prime, but I already went down the Creo hole hard back in the day. And I've gotten rid of most of it now. And what I haven't gotten rid of is, like, no one's going to buy it. I'll have to, like, sell other stuff to Nick and then, like, sneak it into the bottom of the box if I can. So
I sent Nick a whole box of Creo stuff that I was like, hey, did you get to those yet? He's like, no, I got other things.
So now, do you actually owe him money? Like after shipping it somehow, he's like, the time that I had to go through this, like I'm gonna have to charge you for this.
I had some halfway decent G.I. Joe ones in there because some of the later G.I. Joes became a little more valuable, like the Hiss tank that came with the Ninja Ashikaraj, Fortress. So, yeah.
The individual crayons you can sell.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them are only like $4 or $5 each or whatever, but like people buy them. Like I sold all my individual crayons. Like I kept like maybe 5 or something like that, but those sold. There wasn't a problem selling them. It's the bigger sets that you're not going to get shit for.
This is the only one I kept.
See, you just put all that out in like the bin at the front of your booth at TFCon, and then you just have kids come by and like mess with it, and then sell Transformers to the parents.
No, the last time I hung out with a little kid that was playing around with Legos, he gave me COVID. So yeah, I won't be doing that. Kids are precious, my ass.
So what's the topic?
So Peter, did you get the Lego Optimus Prime just out of curiosity?
Not yet. I'm a failure.
Is it sold out? I haven't really paid attention.
It didn't immediately sell out, which was a good sign.
Yeah.
Let's see. Tell you.
I know people were talking about. I think it's at the Lego store.
It's still in stock.
Oh wow! There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man.
My I'm right now. So.
I get those
Fair
feels.
enough. Understand that. Says the guy that has no figures behind, or 1 or 2 figures behind him.
So yeah, the question with Masterpiece, what is it, Skyfire or Jetfire? I can never remember which name is which.
I think it's Skyfire, right? I think that's what it's called.
Is it too little, too late? Is the question. Now, I think Ron's comment about how this one is clearly superior is extremely premature because all I've seen are, just some images of the other one that, I don't know, there's a lot to know before I could make that distinction. I mean, but that said, this one's awesome. I haven't played with it in a while, but it's not, I remember it not being a miserable transformation. With Fans Toys, it's very hit or miss. You never know. It's either like a great transformation or it's the worst ever. They're usually rarely just eh. But, so yeah, I don't know if I could say it's clearly superior already. That seems extremely premature. But this is obviously an extremely good one. So
I would take the other position that says, yes, this is lower quality, and yes, this is not as good, but for the price,
Really
it's
making
good
your
enough.
case there.
But what I'm saying is, for the price, this is good enough, and I will answer that maybe later on this evening with an asterisk.
I don't know. I mean, the thing I think is interesting is I don't know that I want the Fans Toys one and the whatever, the Combiner Wars or whatever Generations one. Like, they almost look too similar, other than the Greebles, right? Whereas I actually feel like this new Masterpiece can coexist because it does look a lot more animation accurate than the Generations one. Whereas, like, I almost feel like those two are too similar. Does that make sense at all?
And that is what the Masterpiece line does. Animation accuracy without extra gribbles. I mean, I don't know. I think it looks great, but it is definitely kind of, I feel, that checklist has been, that check mark's been checked for a long time. That's not, there are other places I'd like to see Takara go. I mean, I know there's some people that don't like third party, would always rather have an official anyways. I don't know. No clue what the engineering's like, but it does look awesome. And I like the little minifigures because, I don't know, those were really fun with X-Transbot's Jansen. But I feel like I've lost you, Peter. Do you know what we're talking about?
Yeah, what's
Okay, so I've got the Legends class figure, and the Leader class figure, and the robot replicas, and the Studio series. I just love Jetfire. I like that scene from the Air and Space Museum where they find him and they use the fragment of the Allspark to bring him back to life, and he's like, "Behold the awesome power of Jetfire!" and he like farts. He farts a parachute.
We're talking about the Generation 1, aka Skyfire, not Jetfire.
There's another Jetfire?
Kind of, but not really because of licensing.
Because licensing. Except in that one commercial in 1985, the Shockwave Jetfire commercial where he's clearly a Valkyrie with his toy mode antennas and faceplate and stuff. Man, this Skyfire looks fucking awesome. I'm going to get him. I've got the Fans Toys Phoenix that I still haven't opened because I'm a lazy piece of crap. And
You don't have to.
No, I don't have to. I'm going to sell it. Fuck it.
That's amazing. If you just wait long enough.
So I kind of had the same what should I do when Masterpiece Trailbreaker was announced, because I actually really like the X-Transbots Trailbreaker and Hoist. I think they're great figures.
Is it Aegis?
Aegis and Pian. I don't remember. I think Aegis is Trailbreaker. I think you're correct, but those are the two names. No clue what they're from. They're probably like moons or something. I don't know. Ultimately, I did go ahead and buy the Trailbreaker one because in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't that expensive. In the grand scheme of things, if you're playing this game, it's not a lot. If you're not playing this game, it is a lot because it's a stupid amount of money for all this crap. But I went ahead and picked it up, and I know that they will do a Hoist remold of it. At least I assume they will. And so I'll probably swap out the X-Transbots and grab one of the X-Transbots recolors. And that's because I do like the mold a lot. And X-Transbots does a billion recolors of everything. In theory, at least, they got pre-orders for them. Will they ever come out? Tune in 5 years and let's see. But Skyfire is a little more, I'm not sure, because like Fans Toys does less repaints. That doesn't mean they don't do any, or they do. It's the same character but a different animation cell, colors. Like they don't do Diaclone colors really, for example, or
For
G2 colors really.
No, typically no, they don't. They did the Dinobots in G2 colors for a couple of them. But like Phoenix, if I'm remembering correctly, there was the original one, there was the metallic one, and then they did a ghost one.
Yes.
For no reason.
Like they're all basically the same though, like, and there's no Diaclone Jetfire. Like there isn't. Yeah, you could do the Shattered Glass, dark gray one, I guess, or whatever. But there isn't like a repaint of the mold that interests me. So it's kind of, Takara Masterpieces haven't sold out in a long time. That one's really solid. So I'm probably going to wait till this one has in-hand reviews and make a decision. Maybe. I don't know. I know I can get it a little bit cheaper if I get it now.
Yeah, I was gonna say the thing that's hard though is that if you wait, you won't be able to get as good of a deal on it. So it's almost worth it now to go ahead and put your pre-order in, and then like, sell it, flip it if you decide that 5 years later, after not opening the box.
So here's the bigger point that I teased out earlier. I'll mention it now. How much was MP Skywarp and Thundercracker and Starscream last week with that sale?
That sale?
Pulse did
the
sale last week.
The big 40%.
Well,
those were, granted, they haven't.
You can't wait on that stuff. You can't plan your collection around that.
I'm not.
Those are impulse
I'm planning my collection on that, but what I'm saying is, I have the Generations Chug Skyfire. I like them a lot. I think it's a great toy. I know this is not MP quality. I don't know if
everyone loved that toy though.
It's a great toy.
And I don't think it's worth the price to upgrade it, even when I've got some connections to get it for a darn good price. But if you do the math and you look at what would he be 40% off if he's around a year from now, if they do the sale a year from now, he's going to be like $150. And I will roll that dice and keep this guy on my shelf. And because that's the other thing too, is that's a big honking toy. Do I have room for a big honking toy like that on my MP shelf? I do not.
I mean, I do. It's right there's where he goes. So
see, I don't know. I mean, for me, and I guess the way the way we all collect is different. But I would just argue that that figure doesn't. I mean, I guess if you're just trying to collect a representation of the character, and that's what it is, and you don't want to necessarily have, I don't know. You're if you want to have an eclectic collection, I guess I should say. I'm trying to find the best way to say it without being negative, but to me, I feel like this is like you want this because you want ultimate cartoon accuracy, and this is what it is. And like the one thing I wonder is just the route that all of these companies has went. I almost feel like a lot of the third party doesn't go that well with Masterpiece anymore. Like those ultra painted, Masterpiece characters. I mean, and to be fair, I guess the older Masterpiece doesn't go with the newer Masterpiece either.
Starting with like Ironhide, they start fitting in. I mean, which is a long time ago at this point.
Like a decade ago, 8 years ago, something like that.
6, 7.
I'm going with 8.
But yeah, I feel like Fans Toys fits in with Fans Toys, and some of the other I suppose some of the KFC and X Transbot stuff does fit in with a little bit better. But I don't know, I feel like that Fans Toys stuff doesn't exactly fit in with the Takara Masterpiece stuff, just because the look is not exactly the same.
All of it's a squinting game. And we've talked about this before, like, what does masterpiece mean? And it's like, well, some people think of it as the word, what a masterpiece means to them, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a brand, and it's a brand line, called Masterpiece. It's unfortunate they picked a name that has another meaning, right? But none of them look like, there's one exception. I do think the Transform Element Mirage, I don't think you could tell the difference. That one, literally, it wouldn't surprise me if literally it was made at the same factory. It feels just like a Takara product, except mine didn't break or anything, right? Just to go ahead and hedge that off. But that one aside, it's all a squinty game. Fans Toys feels like Fans Toys and has their own designers. X Transbots has their own designers, and you can tell MMC toys always feel totally different and have their own designers, and they don't paint near as heavily anyways. It's just, but they get the overall aesthetics, and they're just always really great toys. So on the one hand, you're not wrong. On the other, as far as filling in gaps, it's close enough. They're achieving a very similar thing, but in a different way. But you're right. You can tell that it's not the Takara product, and that doesn't necessarily mean that the Takara one's always superior. It just means it's not that. You can tell.
Right.
So, to the point where some people don't collect Takara. They there's people that say, well, like, I collect all the Fans Toys stuff and I fill my collection with other companies until Fans Toys makes it. They've come the other way around. But even Fans Toys isn't consistent. Where Takara has made a couple changes throughout, the 20 years they've been doing Masterpiece, that line. When they change it all, whereas Fans Toys kind of bounces around with how they're doing things constantly. Like, one mini bot will have flat colors and then the next one will be shiny and then back to flat. Like, because they're like, well, some of our people like the shiny stuff. They're like, but the Takara cohorts that we're getting, they prefer the flat matte look so it fits in better. And yeah, so you get some of that.
Just cram everything on a shelf. I'm buying the Skyfire. And this is one because I've mentioned before that cartoon, like slavish cartoon accuracy is not necessarily my jam. But in this case, it is. He looks like he fell off of season 1, like, and as much as I enjoy the look of Phoenix, I mean, I bought it. I never opened it because, like I said, awful or something. But it looks like a superhero, which is great if you want him to look like a Dreamwave comic when he's like fighting Sunstorm or whatever. Go for it. If you like that Don Figueroa look, which is great in its own right, then get the Fans Toys. Get it in whatever flavor you want. If you want creepy ghosts, I've been trapped in ice. I don't even know. There, pretty. Not exactly cartoon accurate, but pretty. Boop. And screw holes. Who likes screw holes? Fans Toys.
Yeah, I like them for different reasons.
Okay, you're trying to sell me on this. You might be succeeding. It's still a great toy, but
Great.
like,
It
I
looks
feel
great.
like if I'm looking at the pictures, I can see, things like any individual part. I feel like the aesthetics are extremely similar, but I guess I can see like the overall picture, like it's a bit in the chest design and how the chest looks like. This is definitely more Superman chest kind of,
Yeah.
pecs, whereas
Right.
cartoon Skyfire isn't necessarily.
From his shoulders to like his bottom of his crotch area, cartoon Skyfire is just a big, tasty blob of awesome. This, like, all of his parts, just, it looks, I don't know. It hits a nostalgia button somewhere in my 4-year-old kid brain. It's like, that's the big fucking jet they got out of the ice. That dude's cool. And as much as the Fans Toys one looks good and is engineered well, and people like him, myself included, it's not scratching the itch that the Masterpiece one I think is going to scratch.
Well, I mean, really, do we need either of these when we have Daka Toys Kronos? I mean,
There you go.
Ooh.
I think Don actually mentioned that on Twitter, that he was like, "Well, I've got Kronos," so.
which somebody paid me to take along with a bucket of Creos, right?
That toy just came out. Like, I don't know if they had that in production for a long time and it just took them forever to get off the factory, but like, that toy just looked like 5-6 years old by the time it first came out. It would have been a decent, fairly well accepted toy when the third party stuff first started.
Not the quality. The quality on that thing would have never been acceptable.
Yeah.
At any
not,
era.
Not held it. I just the design of it.
Go watch
would
any
have been-
YouTube review. It just falls apart
I
constantly.
have no desire to, because it just looked like such hot garbage.
I think
didn't wanna waste my time.
Diecast did. He actually had a video where he like set his on fire.
So, Peter, the reason why I think you're okay with tune accuracy on this one is because that's all that exists.
Yeah. Aside
Yeah,
from his brief appearances in Dreamwave, where he's like, "I'm gonna fight Sunstorm for 3 issues and then we'll get canceled. It'll be cool."
Yeah.
I mean,
I
it's
know,
like
I know it was 10 issues for the actualies and the. Yeah.
I mean, he
like-
had some Marvel G1 appearances too in the comics.
well,
He did,
but what I'm
which
getting
is
at
the
is
same.
that, like, a lot of stuff you're like, well, I kind of like some of the toy look and the realistic look or whatever, but the toy here has nothing to do with Skyfire, right? Like, it might as well not. Like, it's a plane that has technically boosters on it. They're completely different, like, just totally completely different. Oh, and it has wings and a cockpit. Like, it has 2 legs and 2 arms. Like, you have to
It's
get,
red and white.
It's
What
red
do
and
you
white. with a couple of black accents. You know, it's so far removed that if you want a better version of that toy, you go buy something from Bandai, or who owns it? Wait, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you know, they're still making that Valkyries. Go buy one of them. You know,
really nice Valkyries.
Yeah.
You pay more than you will for the Masterpiece Skyfire.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it has nothing to do with what we call Skyfire. You know,
I remember as a kid being like just floored by the fact that like my buddy got Skyfire and we were playing with my buddy Jason and he's like, no, this one's called Jetfire. I'm like, what the fuck? You know, I'm like,
you idiot! It's
5 years
Skyfire.
old. Like, no, it's Skyfire. And yeah, and like he told me, he's like, no. And he showed me the box, and I was like, oh, what the? That's bizarre, you know.
It's like, dude, you want Bluefin's lawyers banging on my door?
I thought you were gonna say that you had another
yeah.
friend that had like a Valkyrie or something. That
No.
Well, those did exist. You did have the Robotech toys then. Yeah.
Right.
I wasn't friends with Robotech kids. I was, you know.
No one was.
There was not a lot of Robotech kids.
You know, if I look at some different, like the little minifigures are an interesting thing for Takara to do, and that I can't help but look at that and think, X-Transbots got to you, that bothered you, and I'm also wondering, do they scale with the ones I got with Jansen? That's the real question. I need to know that. Do they look okay with those? Are they close enough to squint? Because they look really detailed, just like the Jansen one are. Like, those little things are painted better, except for Bumblebee's eyes, painted better than, you know, some of X-Transbot's figures altogether. And I say that as an XTB fan, you know. I call things how they are. But, you know, Takara's been on their accessory game, but that is definitely a new type of accessory. And I don't know, I just think it's cool that it's there. That's fun. Makes it even more out of scale, but, you know, welcome to G1, whatever.
I really wish he came with the Energon Skyfire Spear.
I don't know what that is.
Energon Skyfire, it was like the Scout class toy.
Oh, the little red and white thingy.
Yeah. That looks nothing like. I mean, he had Skyfire's head, and again, it was a red and white jet. Other than that, it was. I will say that is a toy that I do want to go back and get. I sold mine, and I'm like, no, that was a fun little toy. I want to go back and get it again.
A lot of those little Scout toys were fun, but
yeah,
I'm also good.
Yeah,
had my time with them.
He was the one I spent the most time with.
But his name wasn't Skyfire in the toy line. In Japan, the Jetfire toy was called Skyfire, and then the Redeco was called Skyfire Sonic, and the little guy I think was called I don't remember off the top of my head, but it wasn't Skyfire. It was something else. It was like Blast Wiener or something.
That's my foreign name.
Is that what happened in The Boys season 3 episode 1?
Right.
Oh, don't spoil me. No spoilers.
We watched that last night. Wow. What an opening. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you like Boys, you know what you're getting into, but yeah.
No, that even for The Boys was like, I
What?
can't believe I just saw that.
You're in for a good time.
Yeah. Do not let your kids watch.
There we go.
Or do,
right.
whatever. I don't care.
Enough.
I'm not your dad. You know, as far as like I'm just gonna be blunt with you, Phil. The discussion about the Siege toy or whatever, this is no place in this conversation. If somebody just wants a kick-ass Jetfire, that has nothing to do with collecting Masterpiece. You know, like that's you're completely different goal. This is about people buying the Masterpiece line. This isn't a new line that they're trying to target to people. You know, like you're either buying Masterpiece or you're not. And if one day this one comes on some sort of super sale and you snag one, you're like, awesome, then awesome. You know, that's cool and all, but no one that prefers mainline Hasbro should be looking at this. Like, you know, in that way. It shouldn't be compared. It's apples and oranges, you know?
It is. And Lucas made the point that he's not going to fit, you know, I can't put Siege, Skyfire, Jetfire in with my MP collection or vice versa. And I don't. Like, I collect both.
I mean, you can do whatever you want. I don't care.
Right. You can't.
Not your dad.
You're just going to be mocked for it because you're an idiot. But I collect mainline and MP and some third-party stuff. Some of it meshes well together. Some of it doesn't. I don't typically put them on the same shelf. I'll put MP scale stuff from third-party with the MP stuff, but I won't put mainline stuff with the MP toys. And so I think for me, it's just like it's a cost benefit analysis. The benefit versus the cost of this new Skyfire, to me, isn't worth it at this price point. And I'm going to gamble that he's going to come down to a price point where I think the cost is worth the benefit.
So what is
Masterpiece
the price point,
buyers,
by the way?
$265 or so right now.
See, the funny
Very
thing
expensive.
for me is I actually think that this
That's
seems
US
like
retail.
I actually think that this seems like a really good price
For its size, it is.
comparatively for the crazy masterpiece, like whatever, right? Because I mean, obviously we don't know necessarily the parts count outside of just looking at pictures, but comparative to that figure, the Fans Toys figure was, I think back in the day, was it 250, 225, something like that?
I have no idea.
I don't know, but nevertheless, I feel
I haven't
like
looked at the scale. Are they the same height? Is this one larger?
a little bit.
I can imagine it's shorter, but
It's all
I mean,
speculation. I mean,
yeah.
you don't know.
Well, I mean, they have it
shown
next to
him-
Prime, so
yeah, they show
I mean, that
MP44.
either way, it's going to be. This one might be a little taller, just eyeballing it. But either way, it's still going to be a large figure.
But so what I was
Lucas-
gonna say though is like for the MP Seekers that have come out that are like, what are those, 250?
Yeah,
The new ones, right?
Yeah.
And Optimus Prime is, whatever, $400 something, all that. Of course, it comes with a trailer and all kinds of accessories, whatever.
$350 if you bought it from Amazon, like a smart person. But yeah,
Okay. But nevertheless, I would expect that this to have been $300. And so I almost kind of feel like at $265, I'm almost like, oh, well, this is kind of a deal. And if you can get a good deal through wherever, through some Japanese sites or something like that, I don't know. Maybe this is even a little bit less than that too. So I actually think that it seems like it's not a horrible value to me comparative to some of the other ones that have come out.
Takara, not a horrible value.
Lucas, I do agree, and I was thinking the same thing. You had this trend that I think started, I would say, with Dinobot, where the prices really started to jump up. Dinobot, Beast Wars Megs, MP44, the new Seekers, the prices really, really jumped up. And then starting with Skids, and even with Hoist and Skyfire,
you mean Trailbreaker?
Trailbreaker and Skyfire, you're seeing the prices come down to earth. Now, granted, Skids is
different. Skids is much
different.
simpler.
And so there's so there's a little bit of a worry then. Does that trend in lower price mean that we're going to get slightly lower quality?
I don't think so, based on pictures. It's like I could tell from the picture of Skids, like, oh, this has less paint, and this is less simple. Like, this isn't your typical masterpiece toy. This is toy based. This has nothing to do with the 3 frames he's in the cartoon or whatever. Which is, I assume, why they went that way, or at least part of that decision.
Insecticide?
And that's like his one of 5 words or something, or is that his only line?
He has 2 lines, I think, but it's by 2 different voice actors, and you only see him actually talk in robot mode one time.
Awesome. But based on that, the pictures of Skyfire and Trailbreaker are both very much super cartoon aesthetic. Where Skids, the pictures, it was obvious that it was something different. I mean, if we get them in hand and they've simplified the engineering and still pull off both modes like that, then everybody wins, in my opinion. So I'm down with it. But
yeah, I am happy to see that price point coming down, and maybe that's the reason why we saw the Seekers go on that 40% off sale, because that was a steal if you got those Seekers at that price, and they had Skids and his repaint buddies as well at 40% off. So it was. I spent a lot of money last week on that sale.
That was the goal.
Yeah, and they accomplished it.
I spent a lot of money in the last year on all those same things.
Same.
A lot more money, bro.
Same. But it's okay.
Living that hardcore life.
Please kill me.
Hasbro Pulse giving that bro fam deal.
Oh, God.
Seriously. Bro, family.
I have to go.
poop? Yeah, me too.
But no, it looks good. Peter's kind of selling me on it on the animation bits, and making my life hard. But I mean, I like buying stuff anyways, right? And I like buying Masterpiece. Like, it's not like it's you got to twist my ankle to buy a Takara product, right?
I like being a consumer.
I don't know. I mean, to me, I feel like aesthetically, the only figure to me that aesthetically didn't really look that great was RC. Like in the last
Same.
however long. It seems like, even if I don't, like the Bumblebee and some of those where the backpack and whatever I wasn't a big fan of, like you can still pose it in a way that kind of hides some of those bits, but most of the aesthetics, like when it's on your shelf, like I feel like it just has more of a presence to it. All of those figures compared to, the
RC was a swing and a miss, a big miss. Like, I was going to get rid of my Masterpiece RC. I rebought my Fans Toys, and then I was like, she's not worth my time trying to sell it. So I put her into car mode, which is her superior mode on that toy anyways, and now I just have both displayed and it's fine. And, maybe that's what I'll do with Phoenix. I'll put him in jet mode and leave him on the stand, somewhere, and put the car. When I've started doing that, like my Masterpiece Soundwave, I was like, I'm just going to put him into tape deck mode and leave him on the shelf. I think I don't know where he is. Oh, wait. Yeah, he's there behind the Fans Toys one in boombox mode. So, it's like, I just started doubling up. It's like, man, I've had these toys for however many years. Like, they're way past budgeted. It's not like I have to sell them, to put back into it. So,
wait, we don't have to sell the things that we buy?
Not if you still like them. Not if you still like them. If you don't like them and don't care about them, then yes, you should get rid of them. And if you only care about them because of Lizard Brain, then you should get rid of them. But if you like them because you're like, these are fun and these are appealing to look at, and they don't sit in a tote,
right,
that's different.
they're fun to look at in the tote.
Lucas, you bringing up Bumblebee though did remind me of something. Where the hell is Cliff Jumper?
Yeah, how is that thing? Like, someone leaked that almost a year ago now or something.
It's
still never been officially acknowledged.
No,
it's been so long that I've started to wonder, was it a knockoff company doing that? Well, was it just one of them going rogue with it? Because they've done that. Knockoff companies get the official. Oh, so I've wondered that, but that also reminds me, the knockoff of Masterpiece Skyfire is supposed to come out before Masterpiece Skyfire.
Yes, that's the rumor. That's the rumor. I mean,
they're at least trying to do it then to get it out before then.
Yeah,
that is ridiculous. Ridiculously hilarious. Like, I don't have any dog in the fight, really. People are going to knock stuff off. People are going to get high and mighty about it and bitch about how you shouldn't buy them. Other people are going to buy them anyways. Whatever. I'm staying out of that. I just find it really funny. So.
Yeah, I am curious with that. Like, if it comes out before the official MP, if Takara is just going to put a hammer down, or Hasbro or whoever, because I don't know. We've had some of the releases where they've come out pretty close, but have we actually had one where the knockoff beats the actual product yet?
No.
Not in MPs. There's been one of the Megatrons, one of the movie Megatrons, I think, had an oversized KO, at least almost right at the same time.
I remember Masterpiece Blackout came out with something that had a bunch of improvements, but yeah, it's been more on the movie side. I mean, it's one of those, when the Prime knockoff came out, it was just now it doesn't have the trailer, so it's cheaper, and then they cut off some of the paint, and they did one with shiny legs or some shit.
Did they take out the electronics too?
Probably, I think so. Well, I don't know.
I think
maybe I'm just thinking of Nemesis.
Yeah.
But then, with Masterpiece Hound, because of the issues with the plastic used on the official, I was kind of eyeing that because I love that toy, but I'm afraid to touch it, and I do not like having things in my collection that I can't play with. That's kind of that's a hard rule for me, but I love the aesthetic so much. But people said it was the exact same, just as bad. Which a lot of people didn't have problems, but there are enough problems. You know that like you may get lucky with a copy, but if you fiddle with it, you're probably going to break some part on it eventually. But yeah, reviews of the knockoff of that said, yeah, people still had some breaks here and there. So no one's fixed anything yet for the Masterpiece line. It's usually just straight. Of
course,
anything.
if you break the knockoff, you don't feel as bad as the actual
Right.
MP. So,
Well, that's the other thing. Remember back in the day, knockoffs used to be cheap. I mean, and they're still cheaper or whatever, but it's not like they're not as cheap as you would think a lot of the time.
Yeah. I mean, Lucas brought up a good point earlier. Just wanting a representation of the character in your display. I'm sure you can find a red and blue shampoo bottle quality plastic Skyfire from China or wherever that'll suit that need to have a Skyfire represented in your collection, and you can probably get it in like 14 different sizes. I don't know. It's just that the options are out there for anything you want. Whatever flavor is tickling you, then you can do it. The sky's the limit. The Skyfire's the limit. And
Sky is on fire for your limit.
And it's Sky Blast, by the way. I said Blast Wiener earlier. That was wrong. It wasn't that. I'm sorry. It was Sky Blast.
The email's already sent.
Damn it.
yeah, I don't know. It's funny for me. For whatever reason, the generations, and maybe I just have nostalgia or just really enjoy them, that I have like blinders on for the G1 mainline, right? But I feel like Beast Wars really, like, just because I have no nostalgia for it one way or another, for whatever reason, I don't enjoy the mainline as much, like the Masterpiece, and I don't want to spend the money for the Beast Wars Masterpiece. But then it kind of opens my eyes to where I see where you guys are saying it's like, oh yeah, like there's no comparison of, one versus the other.
Beast Wars Masterpiece is dead. I mean, we don't know that, but where are my reveals at, bruh?
Yeah.
But then again, like they were quiet on G1 stuff ish for a bit there, and then we got these two.
Yeah.
Like we kept expecting Cliffdriver to come out. It's like, no, here's Trailbreaker. Like, oh, okay. Well, maybe Cliffdriver will come out. No, here's Skyfire that you saw like a 10-year-old proto of a few years ago. And like, no, we actually went back and revamped it and finished that out. It's like, oh, okay.
Well, the Trailbreaker, though, wasn't that like hinted at like years ago? There was, like, some
not
interview.
Really. The interview, the guy said like he was just talking about the challenges of the line or something, and it was translated in an odd way. And my understanding is like when people that natively spoke talked about that, like he was just saying like, if we did Trailbreaker, we'd try to figure out like how can we do both toys from it at once. Like I feel pretty firmly that they have rough sketches of everything from the 84 through 86 cast, right? Like to some degree, and it's just like, well, which projects do we move forward with next? Like, do we need licensing? Right. Do we want to get licensing? Do we think we can make enough money off of it? And apparently, if it's a movie cast, the answer is no, because they won't fucking do
optimize. Yeah.
So
they know if they do a Diaclone era character or mold or whatever, they can squeeze 3, 4, 5 out of them.
Yeah.
So
except for Skyfire. Okay, what are you going to repaint that into?
Someone mentioned in the chat earlier there's a Digibash floating around on Twitter of him with all of the like Valkyrie bits and the faceplate and the helmet and stuff. Looks pretty good.
It comes with the alternate mask already, the toy mask.
But you could do like the goofy redeco. Not goofy, the toy redeco.
Yeah. As
they're going to do the minifigures in Diaclone colors.
Totally worth $265 to get the free paint of those. Be a baller.
I mean, if they did, how pissed off would Paul be if they did a new version that came out with a mini Starscream with his lab coat?
Oh, that'd be so great.
Yeah.
Just
like that's it. That's it. That's the only difference is they swap out all the minifigures, and you now get a minifigure Starscream.
Ship it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm glad Takara's waking back up with some Masterpiece stuff. I hope they can get back on a steady release schedule instead of nothing, we're dead, nothing. Hey, here's 2-3 figures. Now we're going to go back silent for a while.
They just dropped images of the legs, Yukikaze and Getsui.
I figured we'd get there. They look terrible. They look fucking terrible.
They look really bad. Especially I've got the Moon Studio ones over here, and it's just like apples and oranges, rotten, nasty oranges.
I mean, I'd say they got the B team working on that, but I don't want to insult the B team or the C team. It's like they got the unpaid interns working on that, and they quit every 3 weeks, and then the next set of unpaid interns come in to pick it up. Is it just one of those
things where it's such slavish accuracy to the actual train mode?
No.
Or is it just?
I don't think so. I think you can have an accurate train mode and come out with something a lot better than that. I understand that's where their focus is, but I don't cut that anywhere near this amount of slack. We've seen just amazing things done with the engineering from several different companies at this point that holy crap, that turns into that. That doesn't look like complete ass. Sometimes the transformation sucks, but I feel like these are going to have shitty engineering too.
These look like an engineering issue. The bot modes are rough. The combined mode is oof. The trains are nice. You got some nice trains. Cool.
Think about it though. You've got amazing toys that a robot turns into a dinosaur, or a robot turns into a jet, or a robot turns into a sleek sports car, and they can't do a freaking robot that turns into a rectangle.
And what does he look like in his robot mode? A rectangle with some rectangles hanging off. And what's his combined mode? Literally rectangles stuck together. It's not even special. They're just rectangles stuck together, man. It's like the G1 toy looks pretty damn good close to the animation model, right? Because this is just what he is. He's just rectangles, man. They put a little shaping on him.
There's some extra parts that are, because the G1 animation model is based on the Diaclone toy. The G1 toy has a couple extra parts. Just so we're all clear.
Oh, yes. I think what kicked me over with the Trailbreaker, and this is how stupid I am. I was already on the fence because it has some more animation things about it that I like, but when I saw the dumb gray bumper instead of the silver bumper option, I was just like, oh, shit. It's like they got me. They got me.
I feel like part of it is that you just have a budget slot open for that month, and you're just like, you know what? I need something to fill that.
I mean, it's all of the above, right? I mean, this is my favorite line. Right. The toy looks great. I like what I already have, but I like this one too, so I'm going to buy it. And then I'll figure out what I'll do with the X-Transbots one later, which, again, I don't hate this trend I'm starting of put it into alt mode and keep them both. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, I have the space. My Masterpiece stuff is set out realistically, and I even have, extra space. And stuff comes out so slow that I have time, so
right.
It's not an issue right now.
Well, that's the thing too is that I think at some point we're probably worried. Oh no, we're gonna start getting all of these older figures from 87, 88, whatever. It's no, not really. Maybe a couple here or there, but we're just gonna redo the same characters over and over and over again. So yeah, you can just afford to cherry pick what you really like, and I don't know, it actually kind of feels nice a little bit that you have most of your boxes checked and you just get to get what you want, kind of thing.
The thing is, my boxes aren't checked, but the thing is, from Takara's point of view, they're not retreading ground. The Trailbreaker and Skyfire, and if they do Cliff Jumper, all those are new. Although sure. Even third-party Masterpiece collectors will tell you all of our Cliff Jumper options suck. The Fans Toys one looks the nicest, but even it, I don't really like a lot just looking at it, to be honest. And so, the Takara one has issues, but it's better than the rest, in my opinion, if that is the Takara one, which at this point, maybe it's not, or maybe they're just taking their time. Who knows? But I do wish they would step into the movie era stuff, but at this point as well, third party's done 2 versions of almost everything, even in the movie line. So it's
Where's Masterpiece Jetfire?
It's called X-Pants.
I own that toy, but
I mean, the movie era stuff
son
we
loves
got
that
in
toy.
RC, so there you go. There's your movie era. If that's what they're gonna put out, you're kind of like, I'm good. We just gonna stick with my third party stuff.
I mean, I'll allow them the one miss, for somebody that likes the line. A lot of people bitch about it, but they don't collect the line, right? Somebody a fan of,
I enjoy MPRC.
Like, I don't think it's a terrible toy. I just think the aesthetic completely missed the mark.
She's not Trax level.
I like Trax. I don't know.
The hate for Trax. He's simple, but he's not like the awful nightmare that everyone tries to sell him as, in my opinion.
I mean, he looks. I don't know. I think he looks great. Yeah, from the side, he's got hollow chest syndrome. It's not great, but
I would still.
It has some really cool moments in it too. And it looks the part in both.
Right.
I don't get the hate.
Like, I would still say it's probably one of the weaker ones, but like all those Carbots are really good, So if you're just like, but I never got the hate either, even though I probably would rate him as one of the weaker ones, if that makes sense.
I mean, yeah, it's one of the weaker, but they're still awesome.
Right.
I mean, like Shockwave, I think is one of the weaker ones, but it has some of the coolest engineering. It's just they gave up when they got to the feet, and they just stopped. They forgot to make a few bits fold or something. But it was just some awesome engineering in there that we haven't seen before. And now that's how all Shockwaves are done. And like with Trax, he had like the little hand thing that spins in his arm. That was so cool. That was like such one of those, we used to talk about the masterpiece moment. That was a Trax masterpiece moment. There's just engineering we haven't seen before. It was really clever and it was fun to do. So yeah, I don't know why people hate that toy. It's not the best, but it's still, I don't know, really good in my opinion, but whatever.
I'm going to say something sort of kind of meant to be a hot take, kind of, sincere. One of my least favorite MPs is Sunstreaker. I feel like he just was over-engineered at that point, that he looks good in both modes, but by golly, that is not a fun process to get there.
Disagree. Hard disagree, sir.
I will say, did you have the Bad Cube version before the MP?
No.
See, this is what, if you had the Bad Cube one first, you would totally appreciate the masterpiece.
I bought the red version of Bad Cube afterwards, and I've transferred that thing once, and it was a work. I recently transformed Sunstreaker, the police car version. It was at the last TFCon. I bought it from Orson. Like, he had some of the masterpiece repaint stuff, and I had the budget, and I've kind of always wanted them, and he's Orson, and so like I bought a bunch, and there was a good price, so I was really happy to buy it. And like I was like, man, I remember this thing being a lot of steps, but I had no trouble with it. It's still like flowed. Like, putting the back together sometimes is a little tricky, but not that bad. And I was like, no, this is actually really good. And it's one of those two, I think we step up our game. Like, if I look at something I thought was amazingly complex 10 years ago, it's like, duh. It's like so simple now. Like, I'm so used to it, right? I think we get used to things, and I feel like Sunstreaker's aged really well, but maybe not everybody. If you don't live in more complex toys, maybe you look at it again, it's still a nightmare or something.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with you. I think it's complex, but it's intuitive. Like, I felt the same way with the Masterpiece Megatron as well. Like, that thing takes forever to transform, especially the first time you're doing it, but like, it all seems to make sense to me.
The first time, yeah, Megatron is just like, wait, let me slow down. But after that, it's like, it locks in.
I remember, this is one of the few that I remember the numbers on. I remember the first time it took me 2 hours, but then the next time it took me 45 minutes, and then the next time it took me 30. And those were like while watching TV and stuff, Now I haven't transformed it in years. I should get it down.
Get it down.
I do worry about scratching that one. Like, I've already got a couple of scratches on it. Like, it's kind of more notable and prone to that. And not only scratching, but like scratching in places that aren't like more on the side where you're like, whatever. It's like, oh. But
that's why you got to get the knockoff.
Just got to put some sealant on it, right? Paint it myself.
Yeah. Or that
and maybe, Rob, to your point, maybe that's my problem, is that I haven't transformed most of these guys more than once. And so it's just like, that was a long, arduous process that I don't want to go through again. And you're right. The ones that I have transformed multiple times, it does get easier. But yeah, I've been, that's the thing, is I get new stuff that I need to transform, or I get a new Gundam kit that I need to build, or I just, need to spend like an hour just scrolling Facebook. That's better use of my time, right?
I mean, like, I haven't messed with Moon Studios Shuki yet. And like, I got him out or whatever. I just haven't sat down to transform because I know it's going to take me some time. I have heard from people that one is the least fun of them so far. Like, so far, I've thought they've all been pretty good. Like, even the pants one. What's his name? Brown Can. Yeah.
Pants Man.
Yeah.
Brown pants.
Like,
Is that a Deadpool joke?
Gray pants, I guess, actually, but
Okay.
He was more complex than the other ones, and I definitely had to look at the picture. Like, I didn't need to look at the instruction. I need to look at the picture and say, like, where am I going with this? Because I fiddled with it for quite a while and couldn't make sense of it. But then when I saw the picture, like, oh, I see where they're going, and then it was fine after that. I'm hoping Shuki will be the same way. I just haven't had a chance yet to sit with it. But the first two were really, I mean, one was really good, the other one was okay. But neither of them I thought were like complete nightmares. They just each had like a part or two where the clearance was sucked. It's not great, but either way, they look a lot better than whatever the hell Takara is doing with the MPG stuff. Which again is such a huge disappointment. That's still one of like my most disappointing things ever. Is they finally did Raiden and it's terrible to the point where I'm not going to buy it.
See, I mean, personally, I'm looking forward to in a few years when they take that design and then they dumb it down for the main line and they release it, and then I can finally get a Raiden. So,
I mean, the Moon Studio stuff is affordable.
I know,
the grand scheme of stuff,
right.
but if that comes to the main line, it'll be cheaper, way cheaper.
I've been tempted, Rob. Like I've wanted to put that buy button. If it wasn't for all the other things going on, I probably would have went ahead and got it. I think I had it pre-ordered and then canceled it. So
yeah, Lucas, I'm with you. I don't have enough nostalgia for Raiden to spend the money, even with the Moon Studios. The more and more I see the Moon Studios, the more and more I'm just like, I'm glad I passed it up. I haven't had it in hand. If I had him in hand, maybe I'd feel differently. But a cartoon accurate Raiden. Like I've seen maybe 2 minutes of him in the cartoon, so that doesn't scratch the itch for me.
But we need to get to the robot train. Get to the robot train. Hot Rodimus, join me at the robot train.
Something strange has happened. Now there are 2 Optimus Primes.
Why haven't you watched? Better than the Netflix trilogy.
It is better than the Netflix trilogy. Gotta watch the RTM or Star TV dub of Headmasters, Master Force and Victory. They are just exquisite.
I watched some of those dubs in college and just, I don't know. I just maybe wasn't in the right headspace to watch those back then.
I'm Optimus Prime. I'm Japanese. Thanks.
I have the same haircut as Optimus Prime.
Oh, shit. Cosplay all day, every day. I don't know, but I'm glad to see Takara being active with Masterpiece again. I hope they smooth out the curve. They did the same thing with MP44, where we didn't get crap for like a year or two, and then it's like, hey, here's this big thing we've been working on. The stuff they're doing looks really great. I hope they announce the Cliff Jumper soon. The MPG stuff, I don't know what team they got on that, but they suck. And I think they've completely sunk the chance of further Masterpiece combiners because of how bad that thing is. And I still feel like I don't really understand what scale it's going to be, but that it's going to be too small anyways. So I just feel like it's going to be, everything about it's going to be bad other than the trains mode. And it's not enough for me.
That one is a chugster piece through and through.
I would much rather have probably what a modern day chug would be than whatever the hell that is. And then where the hell is Beast Wars at, guys? Where you at? Where you at?
We gave you a whole Netflix season of Beast Wars stuff. Why aren't you satisfied?
I do wonder if they paused on the Beast Wars just because that's been coming out in mainline, And again, like, not that they compete really with each other, but I just wonder if maybe they're like, we're gonna take a break.
I
You
feel like
don't
they've
wanna
done that
fossilize
before,
versus-
and we get them at the same time. I don't think that's stopped them before.
Yeah.
We're giving you fossilizers as part of the Wreckers. How are you not happy with that, Beast Wars fans?
You don't want to have oversaturation, which is why the Lego Optimus Prime, his motto is Autobots convert and roll out.
Are you serious?
It's in the instruction booklet.
Oh, hurts.
Oversaturation is the thing they're worried about.
You know, like that classic line, convert and roll out.
I mean, and you know how confused kids get, and like the mom gets when she's at Target, and there's Masterpiece Rat Trap next to Siege Rat Trap on the shelf next to each other at Target, because that happens all the time, right? Right, guys?
Next to Rise of the Best MPM Rat Trap.
Oh, wait,
Well,
these are never in store.
To be
What?
fair, I think the masterpieces at Target end up being about the cost of mainline.
Like a week later?
Like a week later, so I could see where people could get confused.
But there is that
I
one
want-
golden week where it's like you have the deluxe version is $22, the masterpiece is there for $85 or $120 depending on which size it is, and you're just like, which one does my kid want again? I can't remember.
Am I the only one who wants a Masterpiece Beast Machines Rat Trap?
Yeah.
I'd
fair.
buy it, but do I want it? No.
I would buy a Tankor. I would buy a Jetstorm. I mean, I'd buy a Megatron. If you did all the dragon and cape stuff with the cowl and the helmet, fuck yeah, give me that.
Tank War would be fucking amazing.
I mean,
But he'd have to be like one of the DJD size, like a big
yeah.
sucker.
I'd buy anything that was in the show. I'm an easy mark on that stuff.
The first
Where's
toy
my
we get at Botanica as an MP.
I feel like
easy.
I
It's
feel
just a main
like we're
character.
I feel like we're the people like the people on Twitter that talk about Morbius, and so then Sony re-releases it and it bombs again. like that's us, where we're like, yeah, you know what, like Takara, like Masterpiece Beast Machines. That's the ticket. That's what's gonna make you the money.
I'm not kidding. I want a Beast Machines Rat Trap, like a new version. Something about that design, just like the sleek rat, and then he transforms into the robot with the wheels instead of legs, and the little visor that flips down. I don't know why that scratches so many itches, but it does.
I liked his rat mode. I was fine with his rat mode, but every time, I mean, it took him 5 episodes. He got up to episode 5 before he could transform without the transformation virus. And every time I saw him in robot mode, I was just like,
The toy they did, the rat looked really, really good in that toy.
yeah.
These machines didn't transform, did they? They had like the Halo thing that went on. I haven't watched it in so long.
There was the I am transforming the and they would kind of like pop out of like, hey, you'd see like an arm like.
Yeah. Man, that's almost as bad as the Transformium transforming in whatever that Bay movie was, where they just turn into cubes. Because like, we're not animating this. just fucking cube it, bro. This is like, Rhino was a step ahead, or whoever made it. I can't remember.
And that's where BotCon got their exclusive idea from.
Oh,
We should talk about that next week.
We should.
I have words.
We can have BotCon people on, right? So
Probably better not to.
No.
Maybe
That's
former
too much.
BotCon people.
Yeah, maybe we'll have a show about TF Expo since that's coming up here in a few weeks.
Hey,
A month.
yeah.
Dude,
So, there you
the
go.
show's gotten way too political for me.
TF Expo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's rough. So, all right. Well, anything else we want to discuss? I think we've kind of gone through everything here.
Are we getting any drops this week? We had a decent amount
I'm
of drops
sure we
lately.
will.
Are we getting anything? Transformers
I'm sure
Tuesday
somehow.
tomorrow?
Is there a new Shattered Glass?
More like splattered ass. Take that, Hasbro.
That's why I had to step off camera for a minute.
Wow.
TMI.
Yeah. That really. It is.
Everybody
Thank you.
poops. Read it in a
That's
book.
great.
Has to be true.
That's fantastic. So. All right. Well, there we go. I guess on that note, thank
That
you
brown
guys
note.
for joining me tonight. Yes. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to everyone in the chat tonight. Thanks to Ron, Zaldron, Catherine. Who else do we get?
I think that's it.
Book club this week is Optimus Prime 7 and 8 and the annual for 2017. Oh, and I guess that Ron says there is a train bot that may drop tomorrow.
I assume it's the pre-orders for the ones we saw today, yeah.
Woo. Yeah.
Oh,
Maybe.
Oh, yeah. PG.
So, yeah.
Ones we
All right.
unfortunately saw today.
Well,
Can never unsee.
Womp, womp.
all right. Well, thanks, guys, and we will see you next week.
Bye, everybody.